Hello, this is Brian Purdy with the Florida Aviation Network, live and in the clear from day 3 of Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo 2024, the Innovation Showcase at the Future in Flight Plaza. Today we're visiting with Dr. Scott Dennstaedt of EZWX. He's going to show us some of his equipment and how it impacts safety and makes flights better for all of us. Good morning, Scott. How are you doing?
Good morning, Brian. Doing great, thanks.
Okay, great. So I know you've been here many times before. Hopefully it's still good.
Yes, it's still good. We're definitely, it's interesting being part of this Innovation Showcase. Really proud to be part of this, especially with the 50th anniversary of Sun and Fun. We've been here many other years, and this one is another great one.
Okay, great. So you're going to tell us a little bit about your product. How long have you been working on that?
Well, it's interesting. I started working on this particular product back when I was working on my PhD, probably about 4 or 5 or 6 years ago. And so my goal was to end what's called VFR into IMC accidents. So ultimately, my goal was to take the ability for pilots to do pre-flight analysis and know what they're getting themselves into. And so as part of my PhD program, out popped this particular application. It's a progressive web app called EZWX at EZWXbrief.com. And the goal there is for pilots to be able to plan their flight from point A to point B, whether it's a short flight or a longer flight, and put in their personal minimums, weather minimums. And that means that ultimately we know as pilots that everything is about risk analysis and risk management. So a lot of the heavyweight apps there don't do a really good job of being able to help you with that. So by having the pilot put in their personal minimums, now I know the risk tolerances. And at that point in time, I'm able to look along their entire route of flight that they plan and determine what risks they're going to be able to take. In fact, I've gone even a step further, and I provide something called the Departure Advisor. Departure Advisor basically is a way for them to see when the best time to depart that meets all their personal minimums. So now not only do they know what times not to depart, they know the best time to depart.
Okay, great. Before takeoff, can you get a full-blown thing, or does it have to have some time to prepare everything?
No, I mean any time that you want. So essentially I can sit down now and plan a flight for the next couple of hours that I'm going to be taking, or the next couple of days. So a lot of times what pilots will do is they'll sit down at the computer and say, hey, I'm going to be departing. That would be nice to depart if I could depart on Friday, but I've got flexibility to go either Saturday or Sunday as well. So the application allows you to be able to do that. In fact, that's kind of the Departure Advisor is kind of perfect for that situation. So you can literally sit down in just a few minutes, figure out, yep, Sunday looks better than Saturday.
Now, I'm just thinking ahead. Now, you've already pre-planned your flight. You're getting ready to go out to the airport. Is there a mobile application of this?
Well, you can use this application on any device, whether it's your laptop, your desktop computer, or your smartphone. It's not meant to be used in an airplane. It's primarily for pre-flight analysis. So what a lot of folks do is they use their heavyweight app, whatever it happens to be. So they'll use that in the cockpit itself, but they'll come to my application, they'll do all their pre-flight analysis. Once they're happy with the time and decision they want to depart at that point in time, at that point they then use that other heavyweight app in the cockpit and then go from that point on to all the way to their destination.
Okay, you stored the flight, you're walking to the airplane, a weather advisory pops up. Would your application say, hey, things changed, we might want to relook at it?
Yeah, so ultimately I display all the pilot weather reports, I display all the advisories, SIGMETs, anything that essentially would be of interest to the pilot for departure. Essentially you'll be able to sit in the cockpit as long as you have internet connection and be able to see that, whatever that happens to be, maybe a pilot report for severe turbulence pops up, you'll be able to see that right away. And of course you'd also, in your heavyweight app that you're using, you'd probably be able to see that as well. So it's a good thing to be able to do from a transitional point to pre-flight to actually in-flight.
Okay, great. Do you want to show us a little bit of it in operation?
Sure. The app that you'll find in the App Store, Google Play Store, it's a progressive web app. So basically you would have to go to EZWXbrief.com at that point in time, and then you can set it up to run as a progressive web app. It only takes a really few minutes, and what you end up with is that just like any other native app that you'll get on your iPhone or your iPad, it takes up the full screen at that point in time. And in this particular case, I have it set up to show the map display, and I've got a route that's planned from Lakeland all the way up to Raleigh-Durham for this particular case. I was working with a customer He's trying to get up to Raleigh-Durham, and so we pulled up the weather for this particular flight. And so I've planned this flight up here, and now you can see what's called the forecast radar depiction that's on top of it. It's a forecast radar, shows you where that radar is going to be at a particular point in time, and that goes over the next 36 hours. And so at the bottom here is called the departure advisor. So essentially, think about this as kind of telling you when it's the best time to depart. So now that you've put all your personal minimums in the application at this point in time, what you'll notice is that these blocks will pop up here that you see. So on the left is the current time, and on the right is the future time. Anywhere you see red, that means that the route will not meet your personal weather minimums. So that's probably not a good time to depart. Green means it met all your personal minimums, and not only that, it met them conservatively. So those are the good times to depart. And yellow means that it has met your personal minimums, but it may be marginal. So essentially we're dealing with high risk, low risk, and moderate risk. So it allows you really quickly to determine, hey, I probably should be thinking about departing tomorrow morning, certainly not this afternoon, where the weather doesn't meet my personal minimums. So all pilots can basically utilize this and determine when the best time to depart. Saves them a lot of button clicks on a lot of the other heavyweight apps that don't provide that risk analysis. Yeah, in the case, you would have to then adjust that. For instance, if I were flying, let's say a TBM one day, and then turn out and fly an Archer the next day, my personal minimums will likely be very different. So you can modify those accordingly. I don't have multiple situations where you can have multiple profiles necessarily right now. That's something that we're working on. But right now, you would put in your personal minimums for that particular flight. Maybe you're flying at nighttime, your personal minimums may be different. Or if you're flying over mountainous regions, your personal minimums might be different. So you can adjust those pretty quickly. It only takes a few seconds to do that. And once you've done that, then it'll reevaluate based on those new personal weather minimums.
Well, Scott, thank you very much. I can see this being quite useful. So it's going to be a subscription process?
Yes, it is a subscription-based service that when we release version 2, it's going to be $6.99 per month, automatically renewed every single month. And it's got a 30-day free trial, so you can try it out. So the website is EZWXbrief.com. That's EZWXbrief.com.
Okay. What are the, how good of an internet connection is speed-wise, or is that just going to, it'll take what it'll get?
Well, for the most part, as long as you have a fairly high-speed internet connection, you're going to be doing well. If you're on a DSL, that's probably not going to work. But for the most part, cell service and all that works really well with it.
And you did say it could be used on a mobile device?
Yeah, so it used any on mobile device, any smartphones, on your portable iPad and such, as well as your desktop or your laptop.
Okay, great. Well, there's no excuse anymore.
That's right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Scott, for joining us. This is Brian Purdy with the Florida Aviation Network, live and in the clear from Sun and Fun and Aerospace Expo 2024, the innovation showcase at the Future in Flight Plaza. Have a great day.